Tonight on Cronkite News, healthcare advocates are calling a federal court ruling that would overturn parts of the Affordable Care Act potentially dangerous. Plus, we get some insight on the new coach and other changes at the Suns. And learn what the Arizona Cardinals' mindset is heading into a new season, with lots of new pieces.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Shai Gara. Thank you for joining us. For millions of Americans, walking into a doctor's office for preventive health care such as cancer screenings or flu vaccines has been routine. But a recent court decision puts that care in jeopardy for people covered under the Affordable Care Act. Bree Pacelli heard from some local officials who are worried the court case could negatively impact Arizonans.
In March, a decision by a federal judge overturned a portion of the Affordable Care Act that guaranteed certain free preventative health care services. A hearing held this week was to decide if these protections should stay in place while the case works its way through the courts. Today, a number of local officials voiced their concern about the impact on Arizonans. Attorney General Chris Mays was joined by Will Humble with the Arizona Public Health Association to point out the benefits of the Affordable Care Act on 150 million Americans.
The ACA led to a significant increase in the number of people who took blood pressure checks, flu vaccines, and cholesterol checks among 60,000 people who had previously been without insurance. So the evidence shows that the preventive care is working. And
there's also 53 things which are called preventive health services identified by the U.S. Preventive Health Services Task Force that are shown and proven to improve health outcomes and lower long-term costs for healthcare.
Plaintiffs challenging the ACA requirement say it is unconstitutional and violates their religious rights because it requires coverage of certain medications. No word on when a decision from the court will come, but it is likely that it'll be appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court. In the newsroom, I'm Bree Pacelli, Cronkite News.
A blow to an Arizona company today after the Supreme Court sided with whiskey maker Jack Daniels. At issue, a squeaky dog toy made by the Phoenix-based company VIP Products. The toy on the right side of your screen looks just like a bottle of Jack Daniels. The toy maker says it's a joke and protected by the First Amendment. But Jack Daniels says it damages their reputation. The case isn't closed just yet. The Supreme Court did not decide if VIP Products had violated trademark law. Instead, the judges ruled the case should be sent back to a lower court. It's been less than a month since the Suns were eliminated from the NBA playoffs, and the team already has a brand new look. Monty Williams is out and Frank Vogel is in. And Wednesday, Chris Paul was rumored to be waived. Adrian Carbajal talked to a Suns insider who explains what moves could still be on the way.
I'm here with Gerald Bourguet. So Gerald, what do you think of the new Suns hiring decisions at the coaching position with hopefully Frank Vogel and then David Fizdale and Kevin Young still staying on the staff?
Yeah, I think Frank Vogel is a good hire. I think the proof will be in the pudding in terms of, in time we'll know if it was the right decision to fire Monty Williams, who was instrumental to building what they've built over the last few years. But Vogel is a great coach. He's a very defensive-minded coach, and he's won a championship, which no one in Suns history who's coached this team has ever won a title, which is kind of baffling to think about.
Do you think DeAndre Ayton will be a Sun this time next season, or it's at the start of training camp?
That's a great question. I do think, heading into the offseason, he was kind of the one guy that you look at and say he's got trade value, he's a contract that you can bring in a couple of role players and maybe enhance your depth if you trade him and bring in a starting caliber center who does maybe 80% of what he does. But at the same time, hiring Vogel, he's a defensive-minded coach. He's worked with a lot of elite rim protectors, so I don't think hiring Vogel precludes you from trading DeAndre Ayton, but if you do keep him heading into next season, I think he's the right coach to maximize his defensive potential.
And what do you think the ceiling is for the Suns next season? Championship or bust?
I think you're pretty much there for as long as Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are healthy and on the court together. And even after Kevin Durant, I think as long as you have Devin Booker, your goal should be to compete for championships. It's what Matt Ishbia has said his goal is. And, you know, his first day here, he went out and traded for Kevin Durant. So I think this team is going to continue to be aggressive. And every year until Devin Booker is no longer a Sun, I think it's championship or bust now.
Thank you so much for your time.
The Arizona Cardinals wrapped up their voluntary off-season workouts in Tempe yesterday. They'll enter the 2023 season with a new regime and a new system. From the front office to the coaching staff, even the quarterback position, there are a lot of changes this team has to adjust to. But the message among the players is everybody has to get on board.
If you don't buy in, you're going to be gone. So it's like, you know what I mean? That's the mentality. It's pretty simple. Guys can smell it, and it's happening. It's clear, very clear. It ain't a lot of, like, babying and showing favoritism. If you don't want to do it, you don't got to do it. We're going to get somebody else to do it, and you're just going to be sad about it after because you're not going to get a chance again. So it's like that's the mentality. So I think guys are seeing that and they're understanding that you do it or you don't.
First-time head coach Jonathan Gannon has a tall task getting rookies and veterans alike on the same page. Mandatory minicamp begins June 13th. The Phoenix Rising have gone 4-4-4 this season and are looking to climb the standings in the USL's Western Conference. Last Friday, the Rising acquired a new player, and Enrique Rupert tells us whether this acquisition is the missing piece to the puzzle.
Panos Armanacas transferred from Loudoun United to Phoenix Rising last Friday. In 2015, The Guardian named him as one of the best 50 young players in the world, and his skills will be needed as this team has struggled in the final third this season. Rising's coach Juan Guerra had been watching Armanacas for a while and had interest in the player. He's excited about the added quality the midfielder brings, especially this week as the coach faces his former team, Oakland Roots SC.
The game on Saturday, it's absolutely everything for me. I told them on Monday, I told them what this game represents. I explained to them what this game represents to me, to the staff, to the organization, to the ownership group, to the president, and it gives you a boost of confidence that when you see the boys working, how hard they're working, how much they're understanding what we want to do this week, and then also having new pieces that give you the ability to be more flexible, to be a bit more versatile.
All the boys are positive and going into the game really confident that we can get the 3 points and showing the fans and stuff what we're all about.
The Rising play at home this Saturday, which is also their Pride Night, and kickoff is at 7:30 p.m. In the newsroom, I'm Enrique Rupert for Cronkite News.
Brittney Griner was welcomed back to the Valley with 14,000 screaming fans a few weeks ago. After the break, we'll meet the local poet that stirred the crowd moments before Brittney Griner hit the court for the first time this season. Plus, it's been a little cooler than usual around these parts, so what can we expect this weekend? Your forecast is next.
When you support Arizona PBS, you plant a seed. Seeds that provide educational outreach in our community. Seeds that put our digital resources to work. Seeds that foster the trusted news coverage you expect from PBS. And seeds that continue the amazing PBS programs you love. But our garden can't keep growing without your support. Visit our website to see all the ways you can help our garden grow. Plant a seed with Arizona PBS today.
My heart is racing right now.
Fasten your seatbelt.
You're uncovering the truth.
These are consequential things.
Yeah.
Oh, look at everybody.
I feel the presence of all these people.
I've got history.
No. I wish my mom could be here to see this.
Amazing.
It's like the most vital stuff, right?
Tuesdays on Arizona PBS.
Wildfire smoke blanketing the East Coast has canceled schools, disrupted air travel, and sparked health warnings. In fact, today's Diamondbacks game against the Nationals had to be postponed. Isabel Garcia from our Washington bureau has more on the poor air quality affecting folks in D.C.
On a clear day, you can see the Capitol building from the Lincoln Memorial where I'm standing. But it is far from a clear day here in D.C. Smoke from Canadian wildfires that has been blanketing the Northeast drifted south, and people here woke up to a thick haze this morning.
So yeah, it just felt different. It felt more smuggy, and I had a headache, and my baby was coughing, and we were like, "What's going on?"
What's going on are hundreds of wildfires that are currently burning in Canada. Almost 10 million acres have burned so far this year, and the smoke from all those blazes has led to very unhealthy air quality up and down the East Coast. One tourist visiting the Lincoln Memorial has had to deal with the smoke in both New York and Washington this week.
Actually, the last day was on Tuesday, and we wanted to enjoy the view from one of the observation platforms. And we just had a view like 1 kilometer, half a mile, let's say, and that's it, yeah.
Officials say the smog blanketing the affected areas should be a concern for everyone. The Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments has even issued its first ever Code Purple air quality advisory for the D.C. region, one level away from hazardous. While some visited the monuments with their face masks on, others did not appear to be as concerned.
No, the smoke really hasn't affected any plans. Maybe this smoke might affect a few plans. But other than that, no, I think we'll have a great day.
The haze is expected to stay around until this weekend when it will clear up. In Washington, Isabel Garcia, Cronkite News.
And we had some bad air of our own here in the valley. That's because there will be a high pollution advisory in effect tomorrow. John Kuzi explains to us now on the weather.
That's right, Shai. We're going to have some air quality issues of our own here in Phoenix because of an ozone pollution warning. So it's going to be unhealthy for some. If you know you're part of that group, please be careful and be mindful of that. As we move into our future evening forecast, 93 degrees at 6 p.m., 84 at 10, but those clouds won't go away, so it might not be the perfect evening for you to go out and do some stargazing. As we move into our future cast here, Friday morning, it's going to be cloudy around the Phoenix area and around the eastern part of the state. But as we go into Friday evening, it's all going to dissipate away to our neighbors. Going into the lows, 72 in Phoenix and up north, 36 and 35 in the Grand Canyon and Flagstaff respectively. So if you're going to go adventuring this weekend, you might want to bring a jacket because it might be a little chilly. Going into our highs, 97 in Phoenix, out west, 98 at Lake Havasu City, so be mindful of that heat and remember to stay hydrated. Going into our 8-day forecast, as you can see, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, below our averages at 100 being the highest on Saturday, but going into the week, staying below average Monday, Tuesday, but look at Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Triple digits, especially Thursday and Friday, 105. Something interesting here on Friday, 10% chance of precipitation, so we might get some rain. But other than that, remember to stay hydrated and stay safe. From the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm John Kuzi.
Brittney Griner's home debut with the Phoenix Mercury last month captured the world's attention, and our Crystal Stone tells us how it allowed one local poet's words to speak volumes.
On planet Mercury, dreams come true. Like Phoenix, being reunited with 42.
Those words illuminated what was a storybook moment for Brittney Griner and the Phoenix Mercury. But who was the poet behind that captivating performance? Meet Jay Tatum.
I know you'll break my heart right after you take it for granted. See, I know how the game goes.
A local spoken word and hip-hop artist with deep roots in the Valley, having graduated from Arizona State University. Tatum first performed a poetic tribute for Griner last August while she was still unlawfully detained in Russia. But this time, with Griner back, the stage would be bigger, the lights brighter.
I thought it was just me, I'm just doing a solo poem. Then I find out there's a track behind me and I'm like, okay, I gotta stay on beat with this track. Then I find out the dancers are dancing with me and I'm like, okay. And then I found out about ESPN like 2 weeks before.
Tatum says her ability to adapt stemmed from her unique upbringing, adopted by ordained ministers traveling the world while serving in the military.
I was like, that's my baby, that's my baby.
Tatum's mother, Leona, lives in Texas. The first time she'd see her daughter perform for a live audience would be in front of thousands at the Footprint Center, broadcast on national television.
That moment meant everything.
The following day, Tatum released a new album at Shar's Live with lyrics as intimate as the setting.
The album was truly a journey, and it was about healing. It was about like heartbreak, love, forgiveness, you know, betrayal, grace.
Not only does Tatum gift the world with her words and her music, she also shares her craft as a teaching artist, helping young people find their voices.
Jay is obsessed with her craft.
Merlin Hepworth, also an ASU grad, is the co-founder and executive director of Phonetic Spit, which provides poetry and literacy programs to youth across the valley. Hepworth says he knew Tatum would be a perfect fit.
She registers really high on what young people are attracted to.
Through Phonetic Spit, Tatum runs a poetry club in 5 Valley area high schools, but the lessons she instills go beyond what any textbook could teach.
You give them the tools to be brave and to, you know, really express themselves and to get it out, because these kids have stories that are worth telling too.
In this arena? Surprisingly, Tatum has never met Brittney Griner, but she says she connected with her longing to be liberated.
If we have breath in our bodies and we have our freedom, like we still have options.
In Phoenix, Crystal Stone, Cronkite News.
Among Tatum's many talents, she's also an emotional literacy coach, helping people understand and respond to their emotions in a healthy way. Coming up next, it looks like an action movie set. But this isn't a scene out of Hollywood. It's actually a training exercise meant to help keep the public safe.
General Manager of Arizona PBS. We've got so much going on here at the station. I'm Catherine Anaya.
I'm Alberto Rios.
I'm Chef Mark Tarbell.
I'm Ted Simons.
We want everyone to know that their Arizona connection starts right here at Arizona PBS.
For over the past 60 years, Arizona PBS has told incredible stories of Arizona's distinctive people.
We got to start being more vulnerable with each other.
What I love most about being a Latina woman is the passion and drive that I feel.
Beautiful landscapes and treasured history.
We're doing something that benefits the community.
Good evening and welcome to Horizonte.
Welcome to Check Please, Arizona.
Welcome to the U.S. Senate debate.
The recipient of the Emmy is
Arizona PBS.
Hello, I'm Adrienne Farewell, and I'm proud to serve as General Manager of Arizona PBS. From Phoenix to the Grand Canyon, Flagstaff to Prescott, and everywhere in between, this station is the best way to remain connected to all that's going on in our beautiful state. So whether you're interested in arts, culture, and music, to local politics and education, we've got you covered. You're watching Arizona PBS, and your Arizona connection starts right here.
My heart is racing right now.
Fasten your seatbelt.
You're uncovering the truth.
These are consequential things.
Yeah.
Oh, look at everybody.
I feel the presence of all these people.
I've got history.
I wish my ma could be here to see this.
Amazing.
It's like the most vital stuff, right?
Tuesdays on Arizona PBS.
Now on Passport.
What are you looking for in your life?
There's an important story that needs to be told.
Is it a sense of your own destiny?
Choose your story.
Try to help create change in some way.
It's a beautiful thing. Not very many people get to see.
Once you come into the neighborhood, you are a part of the family.
You can be a good person or a bad person. It's your choice.
Stop complaining and go actually do something.
Now you can stream even more documentaries with Passport on the PBS Video app.
The PBS NewsHour, continuing nearly 50 years of unbiased reporting.
The speech sets the foundation for Democrats as they push for voting rights.
The protesters have not yet been moved, basically having their run of the place.
Covering a broad range of stories.
You've got less rain here now, too, right?
And they're running out of water. What's it like on that stage?
There's this magic.
I'm Amna Nawaz.
And I'm Jeff Bennett. Join us every weeknight on the PBS NewsHour.
An annual explosive disposal training that brings together public safety departments from around the world was held in Marrana earlier this month.
Cronkite News reporter Ryan Tizmaneski tells us what the main goal of this exercise is.
That sound taking over Pinhall Air Park just outside Tucson. It's all part of Ravens Challenge, an international exercise funded by the Army and led by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, more commonly known as the ATF.
And everybody comes with a different expertise, and so they're talking the entire time, and they're figuring things out, and you know, this person may be technical of this person may be technical of that, but they come down and they work out these scenarios, these live scenarios. They're truly something that really can't be replicated in too many places.
It's our Ravens Challenge, where law enforcement and other public safety departments will undergo simulations. For example, here in this one, a disgruntled employee crashes a vehicle into the front of this aircraft, runs onto it, and throws a backpack onto it. Now, the explosive ordnance and disposal units will take the backpack off, x-ray it, and see what they need to do next. At Ravens Challenge, public safety departments and military from all over the world come together to discuss and practice explosive disarming techniques. And while people do come from all over, local departments don't get left out.
So I think this was an excellent opportunity to be able to work with different partners that we have in the event of a really large critical incident, getting this training in now and getting those relationships and partnerships will be beneficial in the event that there is a major critical incident where these teams all have to come together.
Later this month and throughout the year, 3 other Ravens Challenges will take place across the U.S. In Marrana, Ryan Tizmaneski, Cronkite News.
The weather around Phoenix is just beautiful today. Let's take a look at the weather around the valley.
Thank you for joining us for the special edition of Cronkite News.
Here are the top stories that we're tracking today at noon.
Some of the best players for their program.
Stream the best of PBS on any device with the PBS Video app. All your favorite drama, history, science, news, and documentaries, all in one place. Watch your PBS station live or catch up on the shows you missed. Discover new favorites from PBS and locally produced shows from your station.
Sign in and start streaming today.
Now on Passport.
What are you looking for in your life?
There's an important story that needs to be told.
Is it a sense of your own destiny?
Choose your story.
Try to help create change in some way.
It's a beautiful thing. Not very many people get to see.
Once you come into the neighborhood, you are a part of the family.
You can be a good person or a bad person. It's your choice.
Stop complaining and go actually do something.
Now you can stream even more documentaries with Passport on the PBS Video app.
Hello, I'm Adrienne Farewell, and I'm proud to serve as General Manager of Arizona PBS. From Phoenix to the Grand Canyon, Flagstaff to Prescott, and everywhere in between, this station is the best way to remain connected to all that's going on in our beautiful state. So whether you're interested in arts, culture, and music, to local politics and education, we've got you covered. You're watching Arizona PBS, and your Arizona connection starts right here.
Do you say coyote or coyote?
Well, it depends on where you live. A recent survey says that a majority of Arizonans would like to see the dialect local to their state protected.
But as our reporter Alexia Stanbridge found out, Arizona may not have just one dialect to protect.
I don't know what a swamp box is. What is a swamp box?
A swamp box is an air conditioner. Does that surprise you?
Oh.
The way we speak and understand language varies depending on people and places. Do you know if everyone in Arizona knows what a haboob is?
Not everyone knows what it is because a lot of people aren't from Arizona. If they're new to Arizona, they wouldn't know what it is.
Karen Adams is a professor of linguistics at Arizona State University. She says there is not just one dialect in Arizona, but there are phrases and terms unique to our state. For example, a frontage road is a street that runs parallel to a main road.
Where I came from, it was called the service road. So it's a road that has different names depending on where you live.
Adams says Indigenous and Spanish terms are a big part of what is perceived as Arizona dialect. But the differences don't end there. Dialects can vary in grammatical usage, what's polite and not polite when taking turns speaking, and pronunciation. Can you say this word right here for me? Okay.
Well, it's pronounced in two different ways. From where I'm from in Montana originally, it's coyote, but down here it's coyote.
Coyote?
Yeah, because of the yotes.
The results of a recent survey showed 57% of Arizonans would like their local dialect to be made official by law in order to prevent it from dying out. At the moment, there is no effort at the legislature to make this happen. Still, Adams says language creates cultural identity, and that makes it important to preserve.
You know, maintaining those particular usages and that, our way of, you know, saying we're still here and we're an important part of this state.
In Phoenix, Alexia Stambridge, Cronkite News.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight.
Thanks for joining us.